Welcome to the show, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I am your host, Jay. This is Cognitive Drift. A lot going on today. Been watching the news all day long. We just had an incident in Minneapolis with an ICE agent. A woman tried to hit an ICE agent with her car and ended up, the ICE agent had to shoot her. Really tragic incident. Really speaks to the tensions, the things that are going on up there, and the politicians and the media that are inflaming it. It's really unfortunate what's going on up there. I really wish some of these politicians were held accountable for their actions, but we're just not seeing that yet, and so that's why we're having these situations. But today, I have a special guest here in Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene. As many of y'all know, elected to resign from her seat in Congress. So now we have a special election coming up here in Georgia. And so Georgia 14, for those of you who don't know, it's in the far northwest corner of Georgia. It's on the outskirts of Atlanta, and it's also close to Huntsville, Alabama. It's very blue collar area, hardworking people, and very conservative, obviously, for who they want to elect. Georgia's a pretty red state, and that's a very red area. And so today we have a conservative, America First, candidate for Congress who is running for that seat, and I'm happy to have him here today. And so, without further ado, here's Beau Brown. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. That uh, you know that seat up there, in terms of keeping Georgia red, being kind of a bastion for the conservatism for Georgia. I really regard that area highly, and that seat also. We need that seat in Congress. We need a conservative in that seat, and I think we're going to have no issue getting a conservative in that seat. So that's just from knowing that area, and so but we need that dearly. We're holding on to a thin majority in Congress. We had a congressman pass away in California, so it's our majority is getting smaller. And so with Marjorie Taylor Greene stepping out, we really need to get somebody in there, a conservative voice, and somebody who's willing to fight for us. And so that's why I was excited to have you on here today. So
Yeah, man. When I got the news, or when I got asked to do it, I immediately jumped to the opportunity. Right now, my campaign is grassroots, and obviously that's just, for the most part, it's been me, kind of self-funded campaign. I announced on December 3rd, and have been going hard at it every day, 10, 12, 15 hours a day, just making things happen, also while working a full-time job. So I want to definitely let people know, like, I'm just like them. I have a full-time career. I have to work to make a living and take care of my family. And obviously I'm in the same, I deal with the same daily struggles everyone else deals with in this district. And really, that's one thing that inspired me to jump in, was just taking care of my family, and really giving us an opportunity to vote for someone that's just like them, because I'm the everyday American, and I'm running for Congress as the founders intended it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what we need. And I've talked about this on my show a few different times, with a few different candidates and actual politicians. And one of the things that really frustrates conservative Americans is, a lot of politicians will run on veterans rights, keeping costs low, cutting spending or whatever, and then it's about 6 to 9 months before they're working for their lobbyists, and they've completely forgot about everything that they promised on their campaign. And so that's a huge frustration. And to her credit, to Marjorie Taylor Greene's credit, she was a solid conservative vote most of the time. I hate how she went out of Congress, and but for the most part, she was a solid conservative vote for Georgia and for the country. And so we need somebody like that in there that can help us out, because it's, with that thin majority, we're really struggling. And President Trump, he has his agenda or whatever, but if he doesn't have Congress, if he doesn't have the Senate, which he really doesn't right now, it's just, he's barely hanging on or whatever. If we had a larger majority or something like that, he could get a lot more done. But the thing is he's doing the best with what he has. And so that's why this seat is so critical, that we get a true conservative back in that seat, and we help him out with his agenda.
Yeah, that's 100% what I plan to do. I am a true conservative. Grew up in a blue collar family. My dad still works. My mom recently retired. My brother, he works at a pretty big mill here in Rome, Georgia. But yeah, I've been working hard my entire life. I've had every job you can think of, from bussing tables after graduating from Georgia, which was kind of an interesting thing, walking around with a degree from Georgia, but bussing tables at Red Lobster kind of makes you think about life in a different sense. So I think a lot of people feel that way when they can't, they've only like their 17th interview and they can't get hired because degrees don't mean much anymore in this economy. But yeah, I plan on basically serving our constituents like I would serve you in any situation, whether I was working for you or that's the main thing. Like I look at this as a job. Like I want to go to Washington. I see it as a job. I don't see it as a lifetime appointment. That's why I'm for term limits. I'm 100% for term limits. It's not a lifetime appointment. I don't plan on, like, I love Northwest Georgia, and I'm sure I've been to DC one time for 12 hours, and I got to see the White House and the National Archives is where I spent most of my time, and the Aeronautics Museum. But I don't plan on spending my majority of my time up there. That's why my pledge to Northwest Georgia is to be the most accessible candidate who's ever served this district. And that means me being in this district, solving problems more than I'm in Washington, besides when I have to be, obviously, to vote. But other than that, like, I will be working 100% for this district. I will be, obviously, I guess people have brought it up to me, are you going to work your regular job? No, like I'll be resigning if I get elected, and I'll be working 100% for Americans and Georgians in Northwest Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to, unless you have a business. The thing that demands that you have to be in DC and involved in a lot of that there.
I'd like to elaborate on that. I mean, that's what you get when you vote for Beau Brown. Like I'm just like you. I'm a regular guy, but I have the passion, the desire, the willpower and fortitude to basically take this step. I mean, when it came down to jumping in, I felt inspired to take this leap, and not for anything other than doing what's right. And, I like I said, a blue collar raising, I've always been taught to do what's right. Yes, sir. No, sir. Open doors for strangers. And, I'm 37 years old now, and I figured, like, why not me? I kind of asked that question. You can talk about sports psychology or whatever type of psychology, sales psychology, because I was in sales for a little bit, but why not me? And I think once people get to know me, see where I'm coming from, the other stuff can be learned. I'm a quick learner. I have the degrees. I have the professional, pedigree in the background. I've been in risk management insurance for over a decade and serving this district. But when it comes to the politics, you give somebody a job, they work hard, and you figure it out, and good things happen. And that's what I want to do for Northwest Georgia.
And I'll be honest with you, man, seeing some of these, especially in the Senate, like, some of these people are like, they're dinosaurs, man. They don't know what the hell they're voting on. Like, talk about like Chuck Grassley talking about AI and stuff like that, man. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. We need somebody who actually is, a little bit younger, who knows what they're talking about. They know about the technology. They know about these things or whatever, so that they understand the things that they're voting for. Not that Chuck Grassley is a bad person, but the thing is, it's like, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So if like, it's just ridiculous to see some of these people and the things that they're voting on, and they really don't have a clue what they're talking about. And so they don't understand the things they're going to be gone when these things are, when AI is taking away jobs, right. when our kids are trying to earn a living or whatever. We need somebody who actually understands what they're talking about in terms of these things. And can feel it. These people are multimillionaires. They really don't know what it's like coming up right now. They really don't know what the shift in the grocery prices that we saw in the past 5 years, right? That was huge. I'm a single parent raising two teenagers, man. My grocery bill doubled. My home price doubled. My home didn't double in value. What happened was my dollar was halved. My dollar was cut in half. That's really what happened. And so those people don't really understand what happened and what it feels like from this level, what it feels like for your insurance to double. They really don't understand that. And so to see some younger people stepping into the arena, that's attractive to a lot of us, because you're going to have a lot better perspective about what's going on out here with regular people.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm America first. I'm a regular guy. Like me and my wife, we've been married for 8 years. My son will be turning 7. Or sorry, he turned 7 in September. My daughter's 3. So I do have young children, but my wife is a stay-at-home mother. We do homeschooling. My wife was a teacher, but we do homeschooling now. So it's kind of been a good transition, but we're prepared for, we kind of have already adjusted to the life of me working and her providing for the children. So, people have asked, are you concerned about that? Like, look, like I said, it's not a lifetime appointment. At most, I win the special election, I'm there. Hopefully, whoever wins the special election is going to be the leading candidate to be reelected in the May primary. Well, sorry, not the May primary, but the November election that's coming up. So I think that's the game to this, is win the special election. You're the number one, moving forward. So, but after that, 2027, it'd be a two-year appointment, and I think that's good in a sense. They're talking about term limits. We do need term limits, but I still agree with a 2-year running to get reelected, because it keeps your congressman or your congress lady honest. Like, they have to work for their constituents, and it keeps them motivated to provide results and stay accountable. So yeah, when you say they don't understand, they don't understand. I mean, I was buying eggs at $20, $20 carton of eggs at Kroger after the when the pandemic happened. Like, you're sitting there like, how are we going to make this? I mean, how are we going to get through this? And by the grace of God, we all have made it. We're not Venezuela right now. So, America is struggling. Americans are struggling, and I want to be, like I said, I don't know everything, but I know what is the right, I know there's some right and wrong, and what the traditional American values and principles that we've grown up with inspire us to do. And that's, my pledge.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And yeah, we just, we absolutely need to, for Georgia, like, I'm not asking you to say anything, but I'll say, like, we had some election integrity issues in 2020, and we have 2 blue senators in the state, which really looks ridiculous. When we have a red state, we have a Republican governor, we have a Republican secretary of state. Like, it looks really ridiculous, and it looks foolish to the state, because I believe there were election integrity issues that really caused that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid to talk about the subject. This is what happened. I mean, I was up at 3:00 in the morning like everybody else when we saw them shut down polls in those states and didn't provide a consensus that Trump had won it, because we all knew he was ahead. He was way ahead, and then all of a sudden we have that anomaly trick up. And then we have a water pipe burst. I mean, people, they say that, and a regular American's like, okay, water pipe burst. People know about water pipes. Like, that's not going to stop you from counting votes.
Right.
They covered up windows. They did everything suspiciously in Fulton County, and it's just been, the election. There was definite anomalies that happened. The main thing that I want to do, I want to push across the finish line when I get there, is to outlaw mail-in voting. That has to be outlawed. We cannot have mail-in voting again, to have elections where everyone has the confidence when they go to the people that show up to the voting booth have that confidence. But and then you walk out of there and you realize, people are dumping off mail-in voting, and it's ridiculous. So if you can't show up to vote, besides the infirmed or our military men and women overseas, like, you should have to show up to vote, period.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
If you can't do that and you can't be a part of the process of what it is, then we don't need your vote, because you're obviously not clued in enough to get a vote, to have a say.
Yeah.
You should be able to show up. So number one, outlaw mail-in voting. I think Trump actually just announced that on Twitter, or not Twitter, but X today, that we need a national mandate to end mail-in voting. And I'm 100% for that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And the other thing though is I talk to Scott Pressler occasionally, and he comes on my show, or like when I was doing spaces or whatever, and I talked to him a few different times. But the thing is like, we still have mail-in voting, so I don't want to discourage any conservative from using that avenue. If that's what it takes to get your kid that maybe won't go to the voting booth or whatever, to get them to vote, use that shit. Because I don't care. Like, I want to use I want to win, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously.
Some people are not going to go to the voting booth. They're going to give an excuse or whatever. So if you know somebody in your life like that, or somebody that it's going to take whatever to get them to go vote or whatever, and they have the option to mail in vote, convince them to fucking mail in vote. Because I don't care. Like, we need to win. We need to win this election or whatever. I make my teenagers are both voter eligible now, but I make them go in person. But the thing is like, if you have a kid that ain't going to do it, hey, take that opportunity, make them do their mail-in vote. I don't really care, because I want to win.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do that now while it's still available. But I think if we outlaw it, we're gonna have free and fair elections. We're not gonna have any of this messed up situation that we had.
We outlaw it, we're gonna have 50 red states. I'll be honest with you, man.
I mean, yeah. which wouldn't be a good thing. Wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah.
Well, we got to reset the balance. We gotta get some things under control for a little bit, and then what it'll bring people back to the center, right? We won't have this pendulum swinging where we have this extreme left, extreme right, extreme left, extreme right, going back and forth. Just think about it. Like, say we do get a Democrat president in 2028. Just imagine reopening the border again. Like it's not going to be pretty. Americans are not going to stand for that.
Well, I mean, I think Minneapolis is a great example of this. It's the perfect example of Democrats allowing in migrants, giving them the right to vote, giving them the right to be here without the actual citizenship or proper channels of visas. They're here illegally, and they're fraud is rampant in these areas. Yeah. So that's a prime example of
I'm from there.
Yeah. Oh, you are, huh?
Yeah, I'm from there. So I grew up there, Minneapolis, St. Paul. So I actually retired in Georgia. I was in the Army. I retired down here. I did 20 years in the Army. I retired first sergeant. But I grew up in that area, and the thing is like nobody asked for the Somalians to be there. Nobody in Minnesota, like if you talk to anybody that's lived in Minnesota, nobody asked for them to be there. And the thing is politicians just kept pouring them in. Now in Minneapolis, St. Paul, like most of the people that I went to high school with, they all moved out of the city. None of them live there. Black, white, brown, whatever. Everybody moved out of the city, and it's all Somalians in the city now. And the thing is like nobody asked for them to be there. Apparently, they're committing fraud on wide scale, and a lot of them committed, immigration fraud just to get there in the first place. And politicians look the other way. So it's a huge problem, and it boils down to the Department of Justice, getting, they're going to have to do something about it. They're going to have to make some people uncomfortable, make some politicians uncomfortable, because that's the only way you get this under control. So
yeah, well, I think with the mass migration that's happening, and first of all, Trump was elected with with a mandate. I mean, he won the popular vote. He crushed the Electoral College. He has a mandate from the people, and one of those mandates was to deport illegals. And so I think if you're trying to fight ICE, or you're trying to get in the way of ICE, you're an insurrectionist and you need to be arrested on the spot. Like, we don't need to play with these people anymore and say they're protesting. Like, if they're in the area of operations of ICE, they need to be arrested. We can't have 70% uptick in assaults on ICE officers just because you don't. It's the federal government. It's ICE. Like, he's fulfilling his promise to American people, and you can't just arrest him.
Yeah.
And hopefully, we don't have another situation like what happened today. But it did. Obviously, she drove into an ICE agent, which could have been his life. People don't understand that. That's his life. He's got to go home to his family. And you can't. That's why you get pulled over. You do whatever that, do the right thing. Do what we were all raised to do. Have respect for authority. And these people don't. The left has no respect.
Yeah.
Period. So
yeah, absolutely. That's what I raised my kids, and that's the way I was raised. Yes sir, no sir, please pull you over or whatever. Give them whatever they want. Don't make any crazy moves or anything like that, and you'll have no issues, right? As long as you weren't breaking the law or whatever, you'll be good to go. I can't imagine driving my car at a federal agent. Like, it just doesn't even compute to me. Like, that's just crazy. But talk to me about, what you're seeing up in your district. Talk to me about, going around and talking to people. What are you hearing from people on the grassroots side, and as you're talking to people in your area?
Yeah, man. The good thing, I enjoy every second of this because it's so exciting to get out and just meet people. I'm a people person. I love meeting new people. Not everybody agrees with you, but I've had plenty. Since December 2nd, I've been having conversations every day, moving the needle. And so I've been in Home Depot parking lot in Rome, Georgia, just waving my sign, trying to get attention. Because, like I said, this is I've raised some money, but I haven't got the attention that I need to raise the kind of money that matters when it comes to really marketing myself. So I'm doing it the best way I can. Obviously, I can't break my bank and not be able to provide for my family during all this. But yeah, man, people are talking about accessibility. They want they want somebody that's accessible. They want somebody that can that's going to be more focused on the issues in this district as opposed to just being in Washington and doing falling into the Washington fray. And that's my promise. Like, I will be rooted here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not going to go to Washington and just this isn't a fast, some people, there's 20 people don't know there's 20 people that have declared. 2 of them are Democrats. Most of them are Republicans from one background or another. There's veterans. There's 2 veterans that are in it. There's a teacher. There's a firefighter, an EMS guy. There's a lot of different I don't know them all. I don't really focus on all of them. I know some of the major ones that Colton Moore, he was in the state Senate, and he seems to have a pretty decent following because guess what? He won an election uncontested in 2022. Nobody ran against him, so he got elected to state house. And so now he's got to run against everybody. He's got to run against 20 people. So I know he's got a decent following. I've been attacked by some of his followers on Facebook, but he's got to run an election against real people. And so we'll see how that turns out. But people care. People care. Affordability and health insurance are the main 2. Obviously, those are the main 2. People care about making ends meet, and I don't blame them. Things got to change. That's why if you haven't paying attention to Georgia, I'm assuming you have. They're already working on this, but it looks like we're going to have a new state income tax law where if you're making less than $50,000 as a single person, you'll pay effectively 0% in tax. And if you're a family making $100,000, you'll pay 0% in tax. And that's going to take effect next year once they pass the law. So state income tax for people making under 100 grand is actually going to go to 0 immediately. So that'll be a great thing. It's going to put between $2,500 to $5,000 back in people's pockets. Now, when it comes to the federal income tax, Trump's been a major supporter of getting rid of it. I don't know the mechanics behind how that would happen, but whether it be the tariffs and everything everything work out with the tariffs. But I think we do need to lower the federal income. We need to lower those thresholds. I think at the end of 2025. So this year the extensions ran out, so they have to revisit this anyways. And I think we need to lower. If we can't get rid of federal income tax, I'm against all tax. I hate tax. Taxation is theft. So, but if we can lower, be sensible about this and lower federal income tax, then us in Congress will have to work with a smaller budget, and that'll make us be more fiduciary responsible to our constituents on what we're actually going to fund and what money we have, where it needs to go. Besides being flippant about it, like you said, those people are detached. I'm not that person. I'm going there with. I'm a red-blooded American from Northwest Georgia, and I'm a boy. I'm going there, and I'm going to make wreak havoc for us, and make sure we're heard, and make sure that the right things are done. So those two things. I mean, when it comes to health insurance, that has to be fixed. It seems like Congress has been kicking the can down the road for a long time now. Obviously, there are constituents that are on these the supplemental income that's provided by the federal government for them to afford health insurance. Those guys, they have seen their prices increase substantially, and some people are just going without insurance right now. So when it comes to health insurance, there's some ideas floating around about what can be done, but that's something that I really need to dig deep into to provide a solution. I don't have the answer right now, but I don't think anybody does.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that a lot of that has to do with Obamacare. A lot of people's insurance rates, when they tripled under Obamacare, whatever, and now they need these. We're kind of stuck with it right now until they can fix some of these issues or whatever. But they, I can't imagine what it'd be like to need that supplement or whatever to make sure that your kid can go to the hospital. But the other part is like, if Congress, can cut out some of the fraud and stuff like that. When we talk about the Somalians, when we talk about why are we sending $40 million a week to the Taliban still? Like some of the Doge cuts or whatever, let's implement some of those things. Let's pass a budget. Let's honestly pass a budget and cut out some of that fraud, because, I don't like we got like a $9 trillion budget. We got a $2 trillion deficit. The thing is like, the income tax, getting rid of income tax, that's cool, and I want that. But the thing is like, we got to also be able to pass a budget first. We got to get closer to where we can at least balance the budget and then talk about getting rid of income tax. And right now we're not even close to that. So that's why I don't like when President Trump talks about that, because he's only got 3 years left, and I think it's unrealistic in this term. If JD Vance becomes president, maybe we can look at that or whatever. But like we got to just get to balancing the budget, and that's down to Congress.
Yeah, balancing the budget. They have a plan to balance it over the next 10 years, but we're like 1.7 trillion behind. So
right,
we got to cut. They're going to have to cut things. But I will give Marjorie Taylor Greene credit. Like, she was a mouthpiece that she gave us the information, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a mouthpiece for what the truth is, and we need to call it out for what it is. We find out that $9 billion has been fraudulently taken in Minnesota. So it's just. We know that's an example. We know fraud exists, but we got to. Here's the thing: elect somebody that's going to go there and really be accountable to, be accountable to the district, but really just be accountable to America, to the Constitution. That's what it's all about. Like, we need to really turn a 180 from where we've been heading from Obama and Biden, and get back to American, a good old America. Like, that's where it needs to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to read some of the comments here. You got Sean Lopez. He said, "Nice to see you on here, Beau. Thanks for the response on Facebook earlier." So obviously you're talking to your constituents. And yes, to end in mail-in ballots, but also, if not eliminated, let's embrace it, right? Embrace it, because we're stuck with it right now. I want to encourage, if that's what it takes for some conservatives to get out and the vote, then use it. I don't care. We'll get rid of it later on down the line, hopefully. And then also, Ange was asking, where do we donate to your campaign?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really wanted to, if you could go to, I really need to pump my socials. So if we can all, if you guys care about this enough to go like my X account, it's Beau Brown NWGA. So it stands for Northwest Georgia. Beau Brown NWGA at X. If you can like and follow me. Facebook, it's Beau Brown for U.S. House of Representatives. Give me a like and a follow. And then I think the other one is, let's see, TikTok. It's Beau Brown for Congress. TikTok, I'm not really, I don't understand it. I just post up to TikTok. But let's see. Yeah, BeauBrownForCongress.com. So if you go to my website, there's a donate button. You hit the donate button and you go straight to the page. I don't have a page. Like I said, I'm learning all this. I don't have a team of experts behind me. And like I do my best to comment to everybody that asks me a question, like Sean on Facebook. And like I said, I'm a real person, so you're not going to get a team member, somebody trying to be a mouthpiece for me. It's coming directly from me. And so if you can go to BeauBrownForCongress.com and donate $5-10, anything helps. All of the donations will go to marketing, basically. So signs are heavy costs. Luckily, once I announced, I had someone donate signs to me. So the signs I've been giving out were actually donated to my campaign. And so we have that, and then just social media marketing, because I think, such a short election, I'm on here with you, so thanks for the opportunity. But getting me out, getting my name out is going to be quicker through social media channels than through anything else. But obviously, I'll be in Ringgold, Georgia, Thursday at Book and Barrel. So if you're in Ringgold or in the Dalton area or Catoosa area, come see me. And at 6 o'clock at Book and Barrel. So I'm doing things that I can do, but like I said, I'm also working. I got a job, so
yeah,
trying to make a difference. But also this is kind of whatever happens. But I really am 100% convicted to doing the right thing for us and just getting out there. And I've already had backlash on the right and the obviously I don't care about the left, but some of the right, I've been attacked by the Colton Moore crowd, but it is what it is. I'm not going to back down from people. I'm not going to back down. We had a little issue in town, local media. There's a lot of gatekeeping with things going on, especially me. I'm a nobody. I'm trying to do what's right. Nobody knows me. I don't see myself in some high regard. I'm not an important person, but I feel like I'm just doing what I'm feeling led to do. There's a lot of gatekeeping. So the local medias here haven't reached out at all, even though I'm at Rome local media. I'm the local guy here, homegrown, lived in Rome 37 years, besides the time I spent in Athens to get my degree. I've been here, my kids grew up here. I go to church here. I help out in the community. I've done a lot of things, and they know me, but they won't even reach out to have me on. So it's kind of ridiculous. And I called them out for it, and they didn't seem to like that. So I'm not going to apologize for it, because you know what, my campaign's, the reason why I'm on here is because of me and the support I got. I'm doing this 1,000% full steam ahead, and we'll see what happens. We all got to qualify next week. I think the 12th to the 15th, every candidate has to go down to Atlanta and qualify in the elections office. So I'll be doing that next week, and just keep me in your prayers, man. I mean, I've been attacked. Like, I've had some really nasty messages. Like, I mentioned medical freedom, medical freedom. Like, I'm glad that Donald Trump is handling the immunization schedule, because it is ridiculous. We're, the rest of the world does 11 or 12 shots, and we do 72. So
right.
I've had two kids. It was a really stressful time for me and my wife. My son, we actually had him on the schedule. We delayed it as much as possible. My daughter has not been vaccinated. So, and I've been getting crazy threats like, hope your kids get measles. It's insane. But, people don't see that side of it. They think I'm doing this out of vanity or something, but no, I'm actually, a red-blooded American, and I'm taking the opportunity to stand up for what I think's right, and hopefully garner support from you guys. So keep me in your prayers, and vote for me if you care.
Yeah. I mean, the vaccine, schedule thing, that resonates with a lot of parents, because that was scary for a lot of us. I lived overseas. My kids were with me in Germany, and it's not something that I ever really thought about until the 2019, 2020, and some of the stuff started to happen with the pandemic or whatever, and then just seeing really bad things. My neighbor's wife, she had like Bell's palsy or a stroke or whatever, like after my aunt had a stroke after her her
Yeah,
COVID.
it's Guillain-Barré syndrome when people got the
Right.
COVID shot. Yeah, it affected a lot of it was not safe and effective, let's be real.
No, no, hell no. And so, ever since I retired from the army, not me, not my kids or anybody, I retired from the army in 2019. None of us have gotten anything. And I went a step further and I got them all vaccine exemptions so they wouldn't have to deal with this anymore because I want the choice. I don't want to be forced into anything, and I don't want them to have to, be forced into anything. So I just went and did that or whatever. It was never an issue here in Georgia. We didn't have to play that game. But the thing is like it was scary for a lot of parents. And a lot of tough decisions. And my mom, she got fired from her job for not getting the vaccine. And good for her for standing her ground. But the thing is like she was still fired. She doesn't get any money back or anything like that. She worked there for 30 years and they still fired her ass. So yeah, just crazy. But she also still lives in a blue state too. So
well, yeah, we know. I think most of it was such a failure on the federal government, communicating that and just pushing things out. But I think they didn't know what to do. We all know this came from a lab in China. We shouldn't have been funding gain of function research to begin with. We got to outlaw that. That's another thing. I don't even think they've outlawed it yet. I still think it's still going on. Like, why are we letting scientists play God with deadly diseases? Like, we can't have this happen again. So we need to outlaw gain of function research. That needs to be taken. That's another thing that needs to happen. So we don't have another pandemic, or human created pandemic. But even the whole science behind wearing the mask and the 6 feet, it came out that the 6 feet was just a made up thing that Fauci came up with. There was no science that backed it. And then the mask, the virus was actually smaller than any of the fabrics, together. So the virus would get through the mask whether you wore the mask or didn't. And also if you're wearing the mask, I still see people with a mask on sometimes, which more power to you. You want to be an idiot and wear a mask, go ahead. But hypoxia, people actually get hypoxia from lack of oxygen from wearing masks, and people would wear them all day, 20, 24 hours. Like, whatever. I like to breathe, God's given air. That's what I'll do. So.
Yeah, it's not good for you. But, I joke about this too. I like it when they wear the mask because that way I can stay away from them.
To avoid them. Yes.
Yeah. So anything else you wanted to talk to us about your campaign, your message, what you got going on, what you need, where people can find you, events you got coming up?
Big events. So like I said, Thursday I'll be in Ringgold. Next Friday in Rome, Georgia. If you're a veteran, I want to meet you. I'm doing a veterans meet and greet at a veteran-owned bar downtown Rome. It's called Alibi Prohibition and Combat Market. It actually sells weapons and is a bar. So it's a veteran-owned business in Rome. So I'll be at a small business. I'm going to put out some more promotions about that. But if you're a veteran, and even if something to anybody can come. But I really want to take the time to meet veterans and shake their hands and really understand their concerns for this district heading forward. I know a big thing is mental health and also just like rehab access. I think we really need to revamp the rehabilitation centers and make them more accessible to people that need the help. So that could be something that I champion. But I'm willing to listen. If there's something more stringent that veterans need. I didn't get to serve. Thank you for your service, Justin. I really, it's just a really great thing. Like I said, I didn't get to serve, and I've always admired those who have served. I have friends, family members. My father-in-law is a Purple Heart recipient of the Vietnam War, so it's it's close to my heart, and I want to be a kind of a champion for veterans, even though I didn't serve. So come out next Friday. It's going to be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So it's going to be in the evening time. That way, hopefully, give people a chance to get there after work. And it's a nice area. Downtown Rome is one of the most beautiful places in America. I travel all over. I travel all over the Southeast. I was in Missouri. I was in St. Louis Monday night and drove back yesterday. So, like I say, when I say Rome's a really great town. And so for all the Romans, you're blessed where you live. So don't take it for granted. But the rest, I'm going to be up in Dalton. We're starting to move up north, but Polk County, I'll be in Cedartown. Saturday, I'll be in the Polk County GOP meeting Saturdays at 11 a.m. I'll be there to meet people and greet people. So, and like I said, I can't get out, get the skis out too far in front of me. So we're planning things as they drop, and I'm very flexible. So if anybody has an event they want me to attend, just reach out to me. You can email me at info@beaubrownforcongress.com, or you can direct message me on Facebook through my Facebook channel. So if you have anything, any questions, also send them my way.
Awesome. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. I know you guys are busy, and I know you work full time and stuff like that.
Let me say this, man. I'm a family guy. I grew up through the Great Recession, couldn't get a job, spent the last 10 years busting my hump. I was a real estate agent, so I did that on the side to supplement my income. So I just want to be clear, I'm just like you. I'm a normal American, but I'm well suited to learn the the issues we face and go to bat for us. But I'm all for families. I'm all for medical freedom. I'm all for preserving the American culture and the American dream. The American dream has been taken from our generation, millennials and even the Gen X. So we got to restore the American dream, and it ain't going to happen with 50-year mortgages. But the good thing is Trump did today announce that he was going to restrict institutional purchases of single-family homes. So the likes of BlackRock will be no more. And I think I said I would go a step even further to, penalize these corporations who own single-family homes to, if they're still carrying them on their books, they get a penalty. That way they would be forced to send those homes back to the free, to the market, to regular Americans and families that want the promise of owning a home. Because I think the home it's your sanctuary, it's your castle, it's your kingdom, and every American deserves the right to have that and to raise a family and to build equity and wealth. So
yeah,
that's another big sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I especially hear that because like I said, I got two teenagers. I got 19 and an 18-year-old. So I want them to be able to buy a house too. And the same way that I did. So that's huge for a lot of people to hear that. So I appreciate that. Well, we've been going at this for about an hour.
Yeah.
Couple of hundred people in here watching. We should get some good replays throughout the night. It's kind of an awkward time for me. Normally I do 8 or 9 o'clock, but we should get some good replays tonight, and get your name out there. And I will post some shorts from our interview here today. But I just appreciate you coming out. Anybody that Susan sends me is always based, always awesome, really great candidates. And I just appreciate you stepping up to the plate and trying to make things better, because it's really tough. I realize that you're putting yourself out there. You're basically doxing yourself and, putting yourself out there and your family and everything like that. And I realize that it's tough. So I appreciate your sacrifice too.
Yeah. Lastly, I'll say this too. You're going to see a lot of candidates over the next, 8 to 10 weeks before the election. A lot of them are going to try to look political. They're going to look like politicians. They're going to act. They're going to have the ads. They're going to have the real clean looking ad where someone else is talking for them. Just know that I'm talking for myself, and I'm talking directly to you, and I'm willing to meet people where they're at. Number one, and like I said, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to meet you where you're at. I'm willing to learn your concerns, and I promise that I'll do my best to make this district the best district in the United States.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for coming on here tonight and getting your message out there. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Look for him on I posted it on here, Beau Brown for Congress.com. Beau Brown, Northwest Georgia on X. Find him on his social medias, find him on his website, donate if you can, repost his stuff, help him get out there, honestly, because it's gonna come down to us. That is why I do these podcasts, because it's down to us. The media is not going to help us. They're going to suppress us. Other social media platforms are going to suppress us. So it's up to us. It's up to me and my 100,000 plus followers or whatever. I'm going to take that and I'm going to help you get your name out there, because that's what it's going to take. This is grassroots. Social media is grassroots now. So thank you for coming on here tonight, Beau. I appreciate you, sir, and I look forward to seeing you in Congress.
Thanks for sharing your platform, man. And yeah, go vote Beau Brown for Congress on March 10th.
March 10th, special election, Georgia. Is there early voting for that one?
Do not know yet. I don't think so.
Okay.
They just announced it, so I don't even know. But yeah, if you
Yeah,
want to tune
March
in,
10th.
I'll let you know, and you can let everybody know.
Yeah, we'll post about it because that way we can help you get it out there too. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you tonight. Thank you for coming on here, and have a good night.
Yes, sir.
All right. Appreciate you. All right, there you have it. Beau Brown for Northwest Georgia. He's going for Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. It's a critical seat in Congress. We need to get a conservative in there. We need to help President Trump with everything that he's trying to do to get the country back on track. So I appreciate everybody that came in here tonight. We had a ton of comments. Thank you for commenting. C&D, Land of Illusion, Ange, Rosalind. I appreciate all y'all. Sean Lopez, Sheila K. Honestly, thank you guys for supporting, reposting. Make sure you follow Beau Brown for Congress. Beau Brown on X, on go to his website, donate if you can, and really help him get out there. I appreciate y'all for watching tonight. Thank you, and I'll be back on in a little bit. I actually have a fighter pilot that we're going to talk to, retired Navy commander. We're going to talk to him about some of his combat experiences. So watch for me in a little bit because I'll be back on tonight. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.